Yeah, that's working. So, I'm going to start off with, I apologize for potential road noise. My office is up here in the attic, and it's like 82 degrees, and who knows what humidity outside right now. So it's like actually like 100 degrees in here right now, which I actually like the heat. So, because, you know, originally from desert places. So yeah, but that means I had to open up windows so that it was not like 120 in here. Ooh, breeze, very nice. Oh, I should go use the bed. So yeah, there might be some road noise. I'm sorry. So it's here. Go use the bed. So speaking of roads, I made a ginormous road. I've also been on the road for a chunk of the day. Went to some a reenactment of the French Indian Wars, which, to be honest, I knew nothing about. And I guess I still, in a lot of ways, know nothing about it. But it was really cool, and saw people firing muskets and guns, cannon, small cannon. It was really neat. And know a little bit more about it. But when I get more time, I'll read up on, like, my brain's kind of fried. Can you see? Can you tell? I've been driving for a distance. Anyway, so this was my village I talked about, I showed about. It's really not that fancy. It just took a really long time to fill it in. You can see where I actually cut into the hillside so that I had things level. And eventually I was actually going to cut away most of that hill and build like little temples and stuff when terracotta became a thing. Well, it's a thing. Hello, sheep. You look very unpleasantly unhappy. Your head is stuck in an iron door. Not my problem. So yeah, this was going to be my giant metropolis. As I mentioned, a theme there. And then my wife discovered the plateau that we're going to go to. So I would go back and forth every now and then. Do you have the stuff I meant to get here? Yeah, and a chicken egg. And some sand. Okay, well, okay, I got what I meant to come here. So I made this road. Now this road I made of cobblestone, but it's actually mostly cobblestone slab because, as I mentioned, I never dropped a mine. See, it looks like cobblestone, but when you get to these sections here, it's slab. It's half. This actually allowed me to use half the materials to build this ginormous road, and I went through stacks upon stacks upon stacks of cobblestone. But as you may recall, I cannot talk today. That's okay, this is going to be the most interesting of all the videos I make. If you can call any of the videos I make interesting. But, I never actually had a mine dropped. Actually, I think by the point I made this, I had dropped a mine. What a boring bridge. So eventually I'll make this a cooler bridge, but that's enough for now. So I didn't actually have, like, the most redundant, I didn't have, like, boxes upon boxes of cobblestone. So I decided to be somewhat judicious in my use of it, and thus the half slab. Although any place where it would expose the half slab, like over here, it's just normal. So a lot of times I got lazy and just doubled the half slab. So yeah. So eventually I do plan to put some waypoints along here. I think one was actually going to be somewhere around here, because this is this open, boring, expansive plain, and so was thinking about putting something along the way. But I also have another thing that I plan to put along the way a little farther down. I'm going to make a boat dock out of that, and we'll find that when I run into it. Obviously, this road goes on for quite some time. I think it's actually a full half day's journey, maybe even a full day. And I crossed 2 rivers. Here's the second one, or the first one, depending on it. Those aren't evenly spaced. And I just fell in the water. But yeah, I'll fix those at a later point. And maybe clean up this bridge to look better. Oh, this is a weird outcropping. And so yeah, and then it comes across a lake. Now I decided not to try and go over the lake. I thought that would just look kind of weird. So I go around the lake. Although I do plan to make a boat dock here as kind of a waypoint. Thus the bed being here. Oh, wow, that is a white bed. I could dye it black. But then it would be a Rolling Stones song. No? Anybody? Rolling Stone, Paint It Black? Awesome song. Loved it in high school. Even though it had come out like 30 years before then. But we'll ignore that. Little tiny bridge that I think is actually not high enough for a boat to get over. Which is okay, because I don't plan to actually navigate this world by water. My last world, that was actually that's how I got to my wife's base, because she had a little base set up in a random location, and there's all these rivers, so I cut canals between them, and that's how I got around. Oh, cool, we're getting close. So, if you go to the left, you'll get hopelessly and completely lost, and you can't actually get to my base. But if you go to the right, and it took me the longest time to remember which was it left or right, will actually get you to my main base along this road. Lots and lots of flowers. I didn't plant them. They came here, but I raid them a lot for dyes, which I don't need any right now. That bother that. There we go. Fix it. And we're getting really close, actually. So I guess it's really not that. So I guess maybe it's only a half-day's journey. I'm going to fix this, too. Because, hey, look, half slab. Bam. Moving on. And a cow. I want to kill the cow. Come here, cow. I want to kill you. Why did I kill the cow? Because I want leather. Because leather is awesome for armor. No. Although for the longest time... Yeah, no, it survived. I was running around in leather armor because I didn't have any iron. And as you can see, at the moment, I don't even have armor. I need to make some. I meant to make some because I die really easily when fighting monsters. And we're going to the mountain here. The other reason I kind of made it this wide and even bothered with the road was llamas. Llamas. Once a llama, twice a llama, llama duck. Because 1.01 update, we get llamas. Or llamas, if you want to be that way. And that doesn't go there. So I wanted to make sure that it was navigable by a pack of llamas that I might be carrying, because I figured that, I probably don't make this journey very often, so when I do make the journey, I was going to make sure to make it worth my while by taking a llama or two. Hello, cow. I don't like you. Oh. That cow died really easy. I must have smacked him once before, which made him also an existential cow, for he exists forever. Which I agree with more of is a mortal cow than an existential cow. Unless, of course, the cow then prompts a conversation about existentialism like the chicken. We're here! So yes, this is eventually going to have like a cool entryway, and there's actually going to be some like walls that will close in this entire little valley you see here and make it defensible. Defensible. So that is my quarry and industrial area, my funny little castle that I've been working on, and over here is the plateau that my wife discovered and the things we've built on it as of yet. So I guess I'm here, I might as well show it off. So yes, when my wife discovered the plateau, I realized we were going to need materials for all the building stuff that we obviously were going to do up there. So you remember that quarry I made in my other base? I started this one, and I just started digging like I was before, only going surface deep, clearing stuff out. Made this little house right here. It was a red bed, but then I dyed it green, because green is my favorite color. And then I dropped my pit. I decided to do a pit mine. I normally do a diagonal shaft, but I decided to do a pit. And it took forever to get down there. We aren't going down there right now. But yeah, made my pit. You get down there by ladder or by other means, and then started building up other things that I would need in support of building. We've got basic storage here, some basic furnace and crafting tables, my bin of special things. Wood. Stone. This goes in here. I think that's dirt right now. Yeah, dirt. You can never have enough. I don't think I have anything. Oh, sand. And more in sandstone. I'm not doing anything with that. We'll ignore it. And my industrial furnace, as I call it. This thing is awesome. I actually have 2 of them for different purposes. I'll talk about it maybe in another video. It's nothing fancy, but it's like one of the things I always create. It's number 1. It's like the main thing I use. Whoa! Text message. Okay. I got an email. I thought it was my wife trying to get my attention. And so put it this way. So yeah, I have weird ways of how I organize stuff. Once I get brewing, some of this stuff will transfer to there. But I tend to store things almost conceptually. Like, this is the, I guess that's not sort of conceptually, but this is the organic goods and wood. So this is going to have anything involving wood or forestry. And then we've got the special box, also the fuel box. Usually I separate them, but I'm not really, using a lot of special stuff these days. And the dirt box, which you always usually, at the very beginning also had sand and gravel. And then, of course, my industrial furnace. You put your stuff to be smelted in here, your fuel in there, and stuff comes out the bottom. Kind of like a baby. Copious amounts of stuff come out the bottom. Haha, dad joke. Bad dad joke. But all dad jokes are bad. Okay. And yeah, so that's kind of like my open storage kind of initial building. Then I built my blacksmith shop, which is where I do my combining of things. Mostly, I don't actually do a lot of work in here. Oh, look, lava! Don't catch yourself on fire. And my anvil. So, my enchanting table's up there. We're not going to cover that in this video. And then over here we have sand, concrete production and terracotta production. So, let's toss some yellow in there. Terracotta. Terracotta is awesome. I actually really love glazed terracotta, and I will totally do a video on it and play with it. Here's all my dyes. Thank you. And gravel and sand, which are used to make concrete. And then here's my concrete maker and my concrete maker machine. You gotta flood your concrete. So maybe I'll do something on concrete sometime too, along with terracotta. And yeah, that's my quarry. And there's a llama. But I don't have any place to put a llama yet. And yeah. Oh, and wood. Because I use copious amounts of spruce. And I like dark oak, so I made a dark oak, and jungle wood because it's kind of got a nice color. Sorry about the noise of my chair. And some other woods. But we don't care about those. Because I use a lot of wood for things. For building. Most of what you see here is spruce. Why spruce? Because there's a lot of it on that mountain. And it took me a little while to get around to actually getting oak and jungle and birch. But no acacia yet. Into this base. So yeah. That was the long road. And my quarry. Although we will... Well, I guess we do it now. So, used to be, you'd take... That's right. The ladder down. But I got lazy. And now we take the quick drop. Whoa, God! We're gonna die! Nope. I think you can do that with 1 layer of water. But I've also read that it takes 2. And technically here we've got like 3. But if you fall from a given horrible height and land in water, you will live. it's kind of broken in terms of physics. So there's actually a trick where you can fall, and then when you're within the last 7 blocks, I think it's 7, you can place your bucket of water and land on it and live. I've never been daring enough to try it, but it's theoretically doable. And then, yeah, this is the bottom. It didn't look like the bottom, but if you actually go in here, oh, I can't tell. Anyway, like one layer below here is bedrock. Remember how I mentioned earlier, I like digging around, doing my mining about 5 above bedrock. So, okay, so I guess 5 under that. Bedrock. Yes, it'll be like 2 more after that. Anyway, bedrock. And then my mine. Traditionally, like I said, I would do diagonal. Wow. So you cut out that one, leave that one, cut out that one, and so on as needed. Stairs. And then I can do 2 wide, and one side would be stairs and the other side would be rail. But I've tried to do like everything in this world differently. But by the way, if you're wondering what's with those little walkways there, when I was coming down, I hit a cavern, 2 caverns, set of caverns. So there's like all sorts of huge caverns back here in a lake of lava and all that. And those causeways actually lead to doors that will let you into them. But I already spelunked the heck out of them, so they're boring. So yeah, here's a mine. Not very big right now. I mostly just come down here when I'm really desperate for stuff, or I need a particular material. And I have a very specific way I like to mine. If you go to the Minecraft wiki, you can, and you look at mining. This is one of the techniques listed, and I also watched a video from a guy whose name I don't remember, so I probably ought to figure it out and give him credit. And I say a lot. I need to work on that. Indeed. So, that's another one of those filler words. My mining way is I do 2 wide, always 2 wide and 3 tall, because otherwise it feels claustrophobic. And then every 4th block, I send out a shaft. Now, some are arguing need to do 2 tall. I do 3 because once again, so I'm feeling claustrophobic. And what this means is, so imagine I have a vein that's right here. Let's say it takes these 4 blocks. I've now hit it. If I had started my shaft here, I would have missed it. Okay. Now let's say I have another vein that's like this. This will hit it. If I have a vein 3 wide, obviously I'd hit it with both. The only situation where I'd miss a vein of anything is if it was perfectly like this, which it does happen. Sometimes I'll cut across, either to make a passageway to get across, or because I'm mining out something like andesite, and I'll hit veins that were just this wide, or were just under the surface that I won't hit, or above. But this I find to be rather efficient. So, you know, there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 1. And on 3, I always put a torch. That gives a nice even lighting, and it all works out. And if I dig into the floor, I fill it in with just cobblestone, because I like smooth floors, for the most part. And then if we go down, I think some of these go down pretty far. This one will actually hit places. Huh? Did I miss it? How did I miss that? Lapis! My lapis supplies are like redonkulously low. Okay, that's a good one. So, I need lapis. Come back here. Did I get it? I got it. Ooh, 34 lapis. Very nice. And now I'm level 4. So, obviously no accounting for missing things, but when you play on the tablet, sometimes the visuals aren't that great, because the lighting in the room that you might be in and all that fun stuff. Like I got a window to my left that's actually making it kind of hard to see. And as would ends most of my tunnels, I hit lava. So I'm not going to bother walking all the way down there. But yeah. my mine shaft. Now let's go back up, and I guess we'll bring it into this thing. Yeah, the French Indian War. Apparently George Washington started that by assassinating, quote unquote, a British officer. No, French officer. I guess they got into a fight somewhere out in the wilderness, and the French got all angry, and a war started over it. I did not know these things. So let's see, hold down shift. I like doing it this way so I can see as I'm holding down shift or crouch and going backwards. So yeah, there's the door. And you can't see it very well, but there's a door right there. You can kind of see it. But yeah, I guess George Washington was the cause of the French Indian War, at least according to folk at the enactment thing today. Didn't know that. It wasn't so much that the French and the Indians were fighting each other, is that they were fighting the British. Although I guess there were some Native Americans who were on both sides of the war, depending on who they thought would be the most beneficial to their folk, which makes perfect sense, because in the end, they got screwed by everybody. So I guess it didn't really matter what side they were on. Yeah. We'll not get into that, because that gets all political, and I'm not really in the mood to get into that. But yeah. So, anywho, I'll make a proper exit. I haven't done that as of yet, because I'm not being interrupted. If you have any questions, let me know. If there's something you want me to show you, which I haven't shown yet, or show in more detail, let me know. I don't really build anything too horribly elaborate. Like, I'm not some expert on Redmine, Redmine. That was a ticketing system I use at my old work. A Redstone expert or anything like that. I build funny little things here and there, like my water pusher thingy. But if you have any questions on anything, want to see me build something, or curious about my opinion on something, because I have opinions, let me know. And I will build it, show it, talk about it, what have you. If you actually find any of my ramblings or things I'm showing at all interesting, go ahead and subscribe, because, yeah, and that's kind of the point of YouTube. But so, yeah, comment, subscribe. Otherwise, I will see you in the next video, which will be an exploration of my funny little, I want to say temple, I'm not building a temple yet, castle, and the plateau that my wife has built. And then we'll just kind of see what the world has to show us from that point forward. Until then, I think I'm going to go get some pizza because I'm hungry, and go play with my kids who are enjoying the backyard in the sun. Till then, cheers.